Hi, I'm back. I'm Jill with Copycat Crafts by Jill, and we are on part 3 of this postal folio. This is the one that I've completed. I still have some decorating and little bits and bobs to put in, but we're going to make one kind of the same, not quite identical. Each one we like to give its own personality. So we'll move that one aside. And before we get started on this, I just wanted to show everyone that this is also one of VOV Vintage, one of her digitals. You get two digital papers. You get this one, which I've already cut out. I've actually used one of them, so I wanted to print out another one so you could see. And then you get a page with these two. And I think they're beautiful. I love them. Right now, though, I have this one packed with all the little pieces that also come in her postal kit, but this one, these two pages are separate, and I believe they're called mini catalog envelopes, which I have been putting a link to this in my description in part 1 and part 2. I just wanted to show you so you're clear when you read it what it is. And it's 2 pages with 4 envelopes, and they're darling. I love them. So I also do print on the back so that when you're looking inside, they're not white. So I will be using those. Leave that aside. This is also from VOV Vintage. It is her washi, postal washi tape paper. I printed a bunch on paper. Then I printed some on cardstock. Then I bought the washi paper and I printed it on washi paper. That's what this is, which is why it comes off and it's sticky. I don't know if you can kind of see that. So I have about 100 of these. You get this one, which is more the faded, kind of worn look, and then you get the same one that is all the colors are darker and more vibrant without the fading. I wanted the fading, so I made sure I printed the faded one out on the washi, and I'm definitely going to use that. Where? Well, on the one we're working on, I thought I'd put it on the outside of the spine. This spine is a 1/2 inch. So you can see it's a 1/2 inch. The spine that I kind of made in here is really only like an 1/8 or less. And it's just enough that when I put some tags and stuff in, it just gives it a little bit of breathing room. So the main spine is a 1/2 inch. You can go bigger, you can go a little smaller. I want a 1/2 inch. I want a 1/2 inch on this one. So on this one, I put the fabric tape that is medical fabric tape. Super sticky. We stamped and just put all kinds of distressed ink on it. We stamped on it, and it works beautifully. Love it. But on this one, I wanted to try the actual washi tape. And I still may glue the washi tape down just because I don't know how well the adhesive on this washi paper holds. So I'm still going to probably try to put some glue before I totally put it down. The hardest part for me on this one was deciding what I wanted to use. And I finally thought I kind of wanted to use this. I hope that's not, you know, any of them. That's why it was so hard. Any of them would look really great. I did want to, at first I was going to use this, but because I want to cut a piece about 1 inch, because I wanted to be able to come over on both sides, I just felt that wasn't going to be quite enough. It needs to be at least 1 inch. So I marked this one, and I still keep just flip and flopping back and forth because I truly could use any section, including this one. I just gonna have to make my call and do it. And if I put it on there and then change my mind, I will pick one of the others and put it over it. I guess at this point I can't go wrong. There is no bad choice, I guess that's what I mean to say. And I have a hard time making a choice. But we're gonna go with this one. Whoop. Get that in a little bit. So I hope that's wide enough. There it is. Get that out of the way. I'm going to glue it on and then trim the excess. That way I don't end up cutting it too short. So it will be like this. I can use that end. I can use that end. Let's see. Okay, I'm kind of liking that end. So that's what I'm gonna use, that end. Okay, now I separated it before. You watched me. Okay. I'm not too sure how well I'll be able to get the glue on here. So I'm going to put the glue on here. We are going to hope for the best. I'm going to put it right after the actual score mark, that is the line. I'm going to put it on this side as well. I'm going to put it also in the center. Just want to get enough that if it, I would rather, I think, have it squirt out a little bit than not have enough, but we'll see. Put some in the center. This washi tape is really thin, so maybe I'll put it sideways. This is not my greatest, it's not always centering. Still can't see where I am, so it is where it is, and that's where it is. I'm gonna cut it here so I still have that. So we don't want to fold it over under, we want it to trim it. Oop. Didn't quite get that little piece. And we want to make sure it's on there. Sorry for the glare. All right. Let's see what we have. Just making sure it makes full contact. Let's see how. Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Yep. I think I did a better job on this one centering, and it's still not straight, but it's better than my first attempt on my first one. Okay, so now we have the washi tape on there. Just gonna give it a little that grungy. Yeah, I think that fits in quite well. Then we back to the inside. I pre-cut, I'll put this aside while I explain this. This is going to be the piece that folds from the back cover in. So it actually gets glued under the tablet like this, and it will fold in over the tablet. So the tablet will come down and it folds in. Now with this one, what I did, and I darkened the score line so you can see, and I'll give you as close enough measurements because your folio, if you're making it, will possibly be a totally different size. So I cut the piece I want out at 4 3/4. Well, actually I cut it all the way down here, so that's where I scored it, and I'll cut it. Okay, at 5 1/4 by 7 and a tick. Okay, then because I kind of wanted this spine rounded, be able to be rounded. I didn't want a firm, square, pointy look. I wanted it to kind of round, like a pencil, if that makes any sense. So I got my scoreboard, which I will grab this one. Hope I don't get my arm too much in frame. And I scored. I knew I wanted 4 score marks. So I measured how big I wanted my actual paper, and I can give you that measurement now. That is this one. That is 4 and 1, 2, 3 eighths. So 4 3/8. And that's where I started my first score line. Your measurement may be different. You may want a smaller piece. When I put mine in, I wanted it to pretty much go the whole entire way like that, but I wanted to give it some room, flexibility, let's say, which is why I wanted this kind of rounded. So put it on the scoreboard, and I made 4 scores, tick after tick after tick, 4 of them in a row, and just kind of kept maneuvering. I didn't really fold down right on any because I just wanted them to be lightly like that, kind of curved. Then, in order to show you that, I inked my score line so you can see. I also beveled the 2 ends so you can see what I did. I will finish distressing, and to make it quicker and more grungier, I'll use my handy dandy flexible cutting board, which I can wash off with soap and water. The stains, like from this actually stains. I can get it off almost 100% with alcohol and hard rubbing, some little elbow grease. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of go over these like this. Because on the inside, I'm going to put some more washi tape. I just wanted to get some of these marks to show, nice and dark, like that. All right, put that aside. And we will go back to the washi and see. I want to put on the inside. You'll still see it. So what do I want to use? Gee, do I want to match that or do something different? We're going to do something different. Yes. Yes, we are. Oh, now I could use that. Do I want to use it there? Yes. All right, let me get my... I don't know how much I'm going to need, so I'm going to... I want more of the stripes. I'm not... You're not going to see it all, but I don't want to... Whoops. Okay. Let me see, is that, yeah, that will be enough to cover. Probably won't see the stripes. I'm not worried about that. So let me just get some glue on there. Sure, I'd rather use a little more. I know. So, I'm heavy-handed with the glue, but it's actually why I keep my tip from allowing me to really mess up my projects too bad by overuse. All right. Should have got the washi tape started before. All right, this one might be a tiny bit harder for me. But we are just going to wing it. Okay. I'm really liking this washi tape. Oh, yep. Good old crooked eye gel. There we go. Let's. Oh. Didn't think it was going to come over that far. Okay. All right. Let's see what we end up with here. Just recurving a little bit here. Okay. And I think we're almost ready to glue it in. This is the piece then that we are putting in the kind of a top flap and a bottom flap that almost meet in the center. Not quite. All right. And I believe on the one I did, I put the flap on first before I glued it in. But luckily, because my tablet flips up and lays flat, it's not a huge deal. And I figured I have to go to this last score mark here, so I'm just gonna give that a better fold, because that is where I want it, and we want it kind of right up to the edge. So it will be like that. Then this I can open flat and still put the two flaps on. So that's what we're going to do. All right. I'm going to use this glue so that I have wiggle room. Let me clear the tip. I should fill it, because when I fill it, it doesn't bubble out so easily. Otherwise, when it's less than half full, even though it's standing up straight, it just wants to bubble out. Okay, now we're just going to give that a smear. Okay. Now, I'm going to lay it this way, and I hope I don't get my head too far in frame, because it does take a tiny bit of finesse. I could make this flap a little less, but I kind of chose not to. Let's see. I want that back way more. That is why I need wiggle room. Still a little more. There we go. That's better. Whoop. Whoop. That is better. All right. Now we can, and it will just round it a little bit. It's a tongue twister there. Okay, this is where the flap goes. What flap? Well, let me open up the one I've done already to remind you what flap we are speaking of. This page is this page. When I open it, I have this flap. So how did I want the same shape. I don't know why that reminds me of Postal shape. It's, I don't know. But hold on. What I've done is, over the couple years, if I come across a shape that I really like as a flap, I just make a quick template out of it, out of junk cardstock. And I should show it this way so you can at least see what the template is, but I have a bunch of them, tops and bottoms, just a quick little template. And for this one, the reason I have two is I have no idea why. That's why. I think I had two just so that I made two of all the others so that I could make sure. Again, I should do it. No, it doesn't go that way. So as you can see, my healthy food choices. Now, these templates don't necessarily include the flap to flip it, but I add that on. So let me get the sheet now. Here is the sheet that I want to do my flaps out of, because it will be this part and then this part. So I already took my template, which, as you can see, there's really no way to describe it. I just decided how deep or long I wanted this part, and I just started to do a little curve, and then I just flipped it and made a second one so that I could see how they look together when I made the templates. So you can see that I added only a little bit as my hinge, because I didn't want to lose too much of this paper. I didn't want to bring my hinge all the way down here. I really like this. So the hinge will go here, and the bottom hinge will go here. But after I glue those hinges down, I have this to glue on top. So those hinges aren't going anywhere. So you'll see what I mean, in case I was confusing, actually. But I just wanted to show you how I got those flaps where I made templates. So if you come up with designs you like, just make templates out of them so that you can reuse that idea or design later on. You won't be sorry. I dig these out all the time, especially when I'm doing business, postal, any kind of more manly. Okay, now these I will be cutting up a hand, so that ought to be not good, but we'll. Okay, whenever I have these pieces left over, I keep them. I keep them because I sometimes want to make these, and sometimes I want to make some of these. These are what I will use to put on the flaps, and I love to have the matching paper. And if I'm not making any of these, or I have enough, this is the type of stuff that I keep, so I can cut out little pieces like this and make my own little bit or bob. That's what I do, because I think that paper's so cool. Who would waste that, right? It's like paper gold. All right, so now we have our two pieces. We need to put a score on them so we know where they're going to bend. So I think I'm going to do I'm scoring with my right hand, and it's only a little piece. I like to bring it to this straight edge here. Line it up with the straight edge. as best I can, as much as my eyesight will allow. And then I will just score. Okay, got it. Hope I didn't break through. And this one as well. And we will score this one. Okay. Put that over here. Let's ink it up. Before I put them, glue them on, I will be putting on the little circles. So I'll have to pick out of the ones I made, and I did double and in some cases tripled. So these are really nice and sturdy. All right. The inside is a coffee stain that comes with the kit backing page. So I'm gonna first warm up that score mark like that. I am gonna bevel it. But I wasn't out of frame there. I sometimes hold it too close to me to see what I'm doing. And I also put on this side just because, in case you end up seeing a little bit of that. Let's see. And all right, one down, one to go. It's amazing how grungy I can really make things. These are already like pre-grunge. It's like pre-grunge light, and then I come along and I jill it up. Right. Actually, I like to get inside a little bit. You're not going to see that, but I never know what might peek through because I am putting a piece over it. So let me show you what I mean before we put the little buttony things on it. Okay, so this one, so this one will come down here. This one will go up here, right on the edge, right on the edge. And then this page goes underneath and will cover these little flaps. I think I have to bevel these. But before we glue them, I want to put two of these on. I already had originally picked out these, which is why I marked them. But then I made these, and for whatever reason, I think I'm gonna swap them out and pick from these. I don't know, I mean, matches. Okay, I'm keeping them. Executive decision made. Keeping them. Get my brads. Thought it was all prepared, and I was not. And my little, because once I put the holes in, I always reinforce it anyway. Now these, I believe I doubled. I don't think I tripled them, but I don't know. It felt like a double. Trying to get it in the right so I can see where I'm at here. Okay. And let's get out a couple of these. I like to do two, so yes, glue them on this side. I just think two of these helps to give a little more room for when I want this to wrap the string around it. And I usually use a fairly thin string, but okay, do this one. More. Sometimes I think I use three, but I also like, once I mark where I want them on the actual flap, I will put one after I put the hole in on the flap just for extra support there. Okay. So the flaps pretty much line up. They won't be that close as they are right now, but we want, I suppose, I guess the center. I'll do the center of each, so let's turn them over and see if we can get a pencil mark or something. Maybe I'll use my handy dandy Tim Holtz center finder. Alright, so how far down do we want it? About. So if I want it about down that far, so how far is that? Okay, we're gonna say, can't quite see, I should up it or down it. Let's spin it so I can see where it's landing. Okay, from the, okay, 3/4 of an inch. So let's mark it at 3/4 of an inch. more towards the center. 3/4 of an inch. Then we're going to zero at that mark and see where we are. 1 inch. I'm going to go, whoop, where am I? 1 inch, 1 inch, half and a hair, 1 inch, half and a little more than a hair. Okay, half, a little more than a hair. Okay, whoop. That was pretty darn close. Really just a hair over. We're gonna mark it. Wonder if I could, when I mark one, if I could just chop through both of them. See if we come out semi-close. Trying to see where I can see through, but I gotta. Oh, maybe I don't gotta. Right, let's see. I'm gonna go up a tip. All right, let's see. Got 2 holes, exactly where we wanted them. And I'm gonna use, what did I use on the, did I use big, big ones. If they match. Oh, and I did use big ones, so I don't want these little ones. I will want these big ones. So then I want these. And I like to put reinforcings around every time I make a hole, and I'm going to use brads or even the eyelets. Now you'll see I don't use many eyelets because I cannot get my crocodile to work. It's been broke from the time I bought it and I didn't know that. But it has. It's never worked right, so. Alright. Top and bottom. Whoop. That's how it will be. We will get the brads out. I'm not tightening them down for now. And for people who don't care for that, for the look of the brad on the back, I happen to think it adds to the rustic look, but you can get a bigger circle than what you use on the top and glue a circle over it, and then you don't have to look at it. But I kind of like it, so let's hope that doesn't fall. And now we will bring our piece back in. Okay. This one's on the bottom, so we will do, again, use this glue. Oh, come on, you weren't sitting there that long to be Be so finicky. Go. All right. Smooth it out a little bit. Let me put it down. Oop, close to the edge. I will be using my eraser on that to get some of the glue off there. And now we do this one. Start it on the corner and put it where we need it or want it. There we go. For this little second. Okay. Then this piece is the one. After I do it, I'm gonna slip that in here. Like that. But we gotta, of course, let me put that back on or he won't work for me. And at least we only have to do one side. And honestly, I know some people kind of get upset about the swirls, but I kid you not, most of the time, as the paper ages, the swirls sort of melt out into the paper and it doesn't look nearly like a swirl. I mean, I guess sometimes if I really swirl it, but all right, now, oh, before I put that back on, I do have my and I could even, we're not going to be picky, we're just going to okay, then we can glue that in, like that. It will look like that. We will do that if I can get my glue to work. Middle first, edges last. Okay, smear that out a little bit. Okay. Goodness. full of glue. Clean that up with some glue eraser. I find if you have a bone folder and you lay it flat, it does a really nice job. And there it is. Ready for the string. Before I put the string, just wanted to show you on this one. I put a little forget what they're called, tab. I put a little tab there that I can use as a little bit of a tuck spot. So that's what I was going to do with this one. Close that. And I wasn't too sure if I wanted to try like one of these bigger. I think the reason I picked the tab was because it matches that I did tabs over here. So let me look and just see if I want to use, I have that one, I have that one, and I have that one. And I originally made this one for here, so I think I'll just stick with my original plan. Let me fold it in half. I glue this together. Then I glue, well, I'll show you. But first I glue it together. So and I doubled these, so this is double, and I just used a piece of cut off from a different paper. So I just want to give that a little, oh, yep, doesn't need that, okay. Yes. All right, let me put those back and get these out of the way. And when I kind of guesstimate center-ish, but I only put a tiny bit of glue on, like just like an 1/8 of an inch going down. And then I rub a little bit off. Let me hold that down. Give it a tickle right to the edge though. That line on there makes it look a little crooked. Good enough. Get it. I'm gonna get a piece of string for my I have blue. I don't know if I want, do I want blue? I also have this. would like to make it a tiny bit dirtier. And I'm not going to cut it till we're done, because now, should we start at the top and go up? Should we start at the, start at the top and go up and down? Should we start at the bottom and go up and down? I did the other one at the top, so we're going to do this one at the bottom. Get that out of my way. Open. So put this one under. Then we will put it under the opposite direction. We will cut it. Let's see how far. 1, 2. We could even do it fancy, can't we? Go like around, 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 around. We're gonna do a little loop on it so we know which is the end to pull on in case the other one comes out a little bit, and then we can have a little something, a little charm or something hanging from it if we wanted. All right. The other thing I wanted to do, so that's done. Love that. The other thing I wanted to do was I was going to put a pocket here, and I picked that, I fussy cutted it out, and then I realized I have it over here on this paper, and just decided then I wasn't going to do that. So then I thought I would use this envelope, and I'm going to glue the flap down to the back of it just to give the envelope a little extra support. Because I did only make it out of paper. And I think I'm going to glue it here. But I want to put a tab. I don't know which one. I don't know how that one got crooked there. Put a tab like that on it. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to just put the tab on it. Which way did I want it? I want it like that. So this side will come on this way. We'll do it. Move that up. Put it on like this. Like that. Okay, that side's gonna stick out a hair, so we will darken it. Now we'll put more glue on. because it's going to go about like that. So the glue is going to go here and here, like that, because that gives me a whole bunch of pocket room. You'll see what I mean in a minute. From the dot, the decimal over. Okay. Okay. There we go. Gives us another whole pocket. Now, these are just my junk pieces so that I can smush that down. Air it a little bit. I'm going to bring over my little tin here of, I just have tags just to show you. We're going to have tags galore. I don't know if that one's too big. I think that one might even be too big. That one might be too big for there. Let's put it that way. Do have other sizes. But now we also have a little pocket back here, which I could dig out a longer, thinner pocket. But I have a pocket here. It's not the right one, but you get the gist. And I have the pocket here, which go like that. Did I not? Oh, I see. Yes, because I wanted to use that, but I don't have anything thin enough, so I'm just going to glue that. I was going to try and sneak in an extra pocket, but there's no reason to. Let that. I should have dug out my tall, thinner tags that I got free from Seven Plaza, who did a whole bunch of all kinds of really cool tags, and these tags were from VOV Vintage, which are super cool. I love them. Let me flip that back. So I do have other size tags. I just wanted to show you it fits a ton of tags. That's where another one will go. Lots of tags. So without even really decorating it, it's already like really nice. I'm going to put some sort of pocket. Let's see, what do we, this is the page I have. It's that or that. I think I'll use that. And yeah, I'll use that. I'm just trying to decide. I think I will just kind of make a little thing. All right, I'm gonna cut it about here, and about here. So let's get cutting board. Okay, and where's my mark? Okay, so it's right about there. Right. So if I put this here, I was thinking of just cutting that at a tiny little angle. No rhyme or reason, just an angle. Just like that. I'm going to grunge it up a little. To put that one here, like that. Yes, I am. Trying to decide if I want to just glue that and that. I will for now. I can change it if I decide. Okay, put it here. Give it a second to grab. There we go. Easy peasy. Love it. So now I have something I can put a little bit bigger item in. I can put that flap. You can do it any way you want because we gave some breathing room over here and a little bit over there. And my closure, I think might do might do some sort of let's see, what do we got? I would definitely have to double it. These weren't cut meant to be doubled, but not sure. I'll have to decide on that because I'm not too sure how I want it. And I'll have to decide. Like maybe I'll do a half of piece that sticks out a little bit. Maybe I will even do something like that and hook. I don't really like this. It's kind of waxy. I think it's supposed to be like the wax string, but I'm not really loving that. I won't be using this. I think it's too thin. But there it is. That's ready to be filled. That pretty decoration. All kinds of pocket space and more pockets along with that. And our tablet area. Which has some blank and some not blank. I think it came out really cute. And I love these. And fast and easy. I think most of you could probably do this in an afternoon. But I hope you enjoyed making this along with me, and I'll be back with a shorter, maybe a one video project, so we can start it and finish it in one video. I think most people prefer that rather than in different parts. But in the meantime, when I finish my closure, I certainly will bring it back, give an update so you can see what I finally decided on. I will also stuff it and show you that as well. So yeah, I hope you had as much fun watching as I did making. And I'll be back in a little bit with one video creation. So until then, stay creative. Hugs.